there's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, iHeartRadio, and all the platforms around the world. So I've been looking forward to this film. You know why? Because it's about Karens, deconstructing Karens. All right, Patty, tell us why this film is interesting. I love this film. Talk more about this.
First of all, thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me on your show and also for liking the movie. I never know who's going to like the movie. This film was such an interesting opportunity to talk about something that people sneer about, but that is really a crucial problem in our world. And I'm really excited that you watched the film. I want to tell you all about it. Where do you want to start?
We got to start at that dinner. I thought about this. I've never seen this before. I've seen way, way too many movies going back to 1991. How many ever I've seen it each year? But the thing about this, it's almost like you're herding them in and they're trapped at this dinner. And I just think it's brilliant because how do you get out of this? Do you eat? Because once you start eating, you're like, uh-oh, should I eat? Am I trapped? And they gonna poison me? What's going on? And it's about being open and honest.
Right. So the movie is about the anti-racism work of two women of color out of Denver, Colorado. And they have a company called Race to Dinner. I came across one of the featured women in the film when she had run for Congress in 2018. And she ran on an anti-racism platform and pretty much was chased out of Denver. It was super problematic. Shortly after that, they started this business called Race to Dinner. And what the concept of Race to Dinner is, these two women of color sit down with white women to help them understand how they're contributing to white supremacy. And it's a successful business, but gosh, if you look at conservative media, they make it sound like they're making millions doing this, which is, of course, completely not true. This is a business that's been struggling for 3 or 4 years, and they do it because they care and because they have children and grandchildren who they want to see have a better life than kids right now. So they're really talking to white women one at a time, trying to help them do better in their own lives and be less racist. And so the premise is they come together for dinner. And I filmed this very early in the inception of this business. I don't even think when I filmed this, it was actually called Race to Dinner yet. And it's a brilliant fundamental concept because women are taught it's impolite to leave the dinner table, and it's not polite to have tough conversations at the dinner table. So while there was, it was completely free will. Anyone could have left at any time. There was no security blocking the door. There were, invisible chains keeping them in those seats, but anyone could have left. Anyone could have been like, I got to go. This is not for me. I don't like you. I don't like what you're saying. But I do think that conditioning as white women keeps our butts in the chairs and keeps us at the table and trying to be nice and polite, which is ultimately why we are problematic humans moving through this world, because we value niceness, societal niceness, over standing up for justice and calling racism out when we see it in our libraries and grocery stores and kids' schools and everywhere.
So I grew up in an all-white town in East Lyme, Connecticut. 3 Black families, town of 7,000, upper scale. We move into the neighborhood, 2 families move out. This is in the late 70s. I know exactly what this is like. I'm used to being the only one in the room. I totally got it. I understood it, and I fought it, and I've had those conversations. But I also know how to keep a balance. So when I'm in red states, I know how to operate with them. Same situation, same scenario. So I get it. What did you learn from the women who did not necessarily speak up, who did not get it?
Well, I think I've been learning since I started this movie. So, yes, I'm talking to you as the filmmaker who knows how to make movies. I'm actually also a white woman who thought I knew about racism 4 years ago and really have learned so much about how problematic I have been in my life. And, my friends and the people I know and the people who work with me and everybody, if we don't kind of course correct. So I share that with you to say, even when I made this movie, I knew less than I know now. And, I think it's important to kind of have that humility about how much we white people think we know, and we literally don't know. If that, does that make sense, Brian? And so when you say,
it does, because I have a co-host just like that, who's been with me for 7 years. I did not pick her, she picked me. And I was like, I tell her, stop putting up political stuff. She's very conservative. And I'm like, you will never know what it's like to be this. You are a girl. You can change your hair. I cannot. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, wow. Well, have you shown her the movie?
not yet. But I can't wait to show it to her.
I think that would be a really incredible opportunity. I'd love to watch you two watch the movie together, to be honest. I think this is the, we have been, white people have been conditioned to believe our way is the right way, and that we kind of it's the dominant culture, and it really prevents us from having compassion for other people's lived world experiences. And it's the biggest blind spot I think white people have. So how interesting that she can come at you like, I know, and you're like, wow, you know your view, you don't know my view.
And the strange thing about it is that she has over 3 million views and counting. She does not like to miss a show. She knows the benefit of being with it, but I'm like, no matter what, I can't change my skin color. I can talk white. I grew up that way, but I can never change who I am.
Right.
And so we go back and forth on our private conversations all the time. We're like brother and sister. We actually yell at each other, and then she calms down.
Yeah.
Because I understand where she's not coming from, if that makes sense. And you know that. This is what your film is about.
Well, what I'm hearing you say is, that she's not trying to have malice. She actually doesn't understand. But she doesn't admit she doesn't understand, because she knows everything, because she's a white person.
Because when someone says, I have a lot of friends who are Black.
No.
Right?
No. What is so refreshing about Saira and Regina's work, Saira Rao and Regina Jackson are the creators of Race to Dinner, whose work inspired this movie. And the movie is about them, their life struggles, their life, their joys, their sorrows, their all the things, and their commitment to this anti-racism work. What I love about everything they do is they disrupt the comfort of people thinking they know what they know. And the kind of there's an organic defensiveness when someone is stripped from their talking points on racism or classism or other isms. And that's really what you see in the movie.
So imagine this. This is why I really love this film, and I'm glad that I took a look at it, because I have so much stuff that's being sent to me daily. It can be overwhelming, but you send it to me, I will watch it, and I want to do the interview, because it's about helping independent film, especially women, because your voices need to be heard, which is what the movie is about. So when it comes to my 12 co-hosts, all women, all beautiful, not all of them get it. They think it's easy doing all of these things, and I'm like, you have no idea what it's like when I go to Alabama, when I go to Tennessee, when I go to Georgia. Yeah, we come in with millions of views, but I know when I walk into that room what I'm dealing with. You know what it was like to be at that dinner table, right?
Yeah. 100%. And the dinner that weaves through the movie is, I think, a very honest reflection of a white woman's experience being confronted with their own racism. There's, everything from defensiveness to growth to admitting, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I am racist. So the work that Saira and Regina do is very effective. And I feel very fortunate that I was able to create a film that can hopefully help scale their message and to create conversations. One of the best things, we got a message the other day from a group in Prague who watched the movie. They got a group of people together, they potlucked, they watched the movie, and they had a conversation. And I was like, literally, that's why I made the movie. That's it. Because I can only speak as a white person. I have not been taught how to have these conversations. I don't know. No one teaches you this. No one. So when people stumble or they, it's not, there's nothing about this that's a gotcha. So you started the whole thing being like, oh my God, you can't get out. Actually, everybody could get out. Everybody could stand up. They could walk away. They could sit quietly and listen. My God, that's a marvelous idea. There's a lot of different ways you can react when confronted with something you don't understand, right? There's a lot of different ways, but maybe the highest form of that is trying to understand what the person across the table is trying to say to you, even if it's hard and uncomfortable. Maybe sit with that.
Last 2 questions. What do you hope the audience gets out of seeing this film? And give your social media links.
Oh, thank you so much. So literally my biggest dream of all the dreams is that this is a tool for people around the world to sit down with people they care about, who they know are problematic. Where's that uncle in your family, or that aunt, or your mom, or your sister, or your coworker, or whomever that you feel safe enough that you can, have a conversation? Because I guarantee most white people have not been taught how to interface with the scary term racism. And let this movie be a tool to help you on your journey to be a kinder, better person in this world. That's it. That's Brian. That's the hope. And then you can pretty please follow us at Deconstructing Karen on Instagram. That's really our hub. We also have a website at www.deconstructing.com, deconstructingkaren.com. And you can also follow Race to Dinner on social media, Twitter and Instagram.
I got to ask the extra question. What's it like to be an Emmy winner?
It is lovely. It's lovely. And I feel very honored that I made something that other people recognized. But I'll also tell you, Brian, because you do this all the time, I've made other work that I thought was better that I didn't win awards for. And that's okay too. I think our obsession with shiny objects and awards are so lovely. And it gives you this weird clout with other people who don't know you. But I never really feel like it's always the best work. Sometimes the best work can be just something like this, where I made this with no help. Frankly, it was rejected by every single person I pitched it to at all the places I pitch all the time. No one wanted to talk about this. And this is ultimately the thing I'm most proud of. So no shiny objects yet for Deconstructing Karen, but I think it's my best work.
Well, I've always said this. The best person, the best team doesn't always win. That doesn't mean it's a bad film or it's a bad event that they did. It's just luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah, we can totally have another conversation about the shiny objects and the way people get them.
I'll invite you on my Tuesday show. We have 15 million views and counting.
Holy cow, Brian. Congratulations on your success.
Like I said, I've never even submitted a show, not won physical awards, but the list that we end up on, I'll take it because it's not coming from me. And you know what that's like.
I do. This is so wonderful. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the movie and have this conversation with me and share your platform. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
I'm not done with you yet, Patty. I'll have you on one of our live shows because you're going to meet the girls I'm talking about.
Oh, dear Lord. Maybe I should bring around Sarah and Regina too.
Yeah. With that, I want to thank Patty for Movie Reviews and More for this Deconstructing Karen. It's a must-see film. I got to give you this last word. It's entertaining, it's engaging, it's emotional, and it's empathetic. That's our rating system. With that, we will see you.